Genesis bung thum mihing thuman lo na kwan to pa pathianin gamsa abol ting lak a gul agil lo pin ten hi aman nu mei kyanga pathianin huana singa him na ne dingo a hi ke chi a hi mo a chi hi nu mei in gul kyanga chi lo we huana singa te ne thei ma ong kuna ava o azawa Adam le azin huan asing la ga to pa pathian ana ki buk san tau hi to pa pathian in Adam asama akyanga ko omna hiya achi hi aman huana na o kaza a vok tan ka hi zia in kala.
Sowing in the morning, sowing things of kindness, sowing in the noontide and the evening, waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the seed, bringing in the seed, bringing in the seed. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sin, bringing in the sin, bringing in the sin. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sin. In our spirit often brings, when our weeping's over, you will bid us welcome. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the seed, bringing in the seed. So let's have a prayer. Our Heavenly Gracious Father, we thank Thee for this precious morning. We thank Thee for the health and for the good times. Father, as we begin these classes, be with us. Do with all the students so that they can understand what will be taught in the classes. Okay, today our subject would be religion, comparative religion. Okay, comparative religion. Okay, this comparative religion, we are going to study major religions of the world. So this morning, I want to take a lengthy classes to have introduction to this subject. How does the world religions begin? So we'll study in two cases. One from the worldly perspective and one from the biblical perspective. We may know different religion exists and almost countless religion from different countries and continents. But here we are going to study the world major religions. And we are going to compare all those religions all together. And in the conclusion, we have to find out what is the true religions given by God. So we have taken already different subjects. In the first class, we have taken about theology, what is God, and why do you believe in God. And yesterday, we have learned about Christian living, how to have the fear of God in our life. And today we are going to learn on how does religions begin. So in the first part of these lessons, we are going to study on how the world religions started in the beginning. We'll look from the worldly perspective. Lai sang thopan san hinai lo na leitung vai ai ke leitung thil te leitung ni pil mi siam te sut na dan na bang chi bang na sa ko ke chung ki pan yam chi ra gen ma setting he. I'm going to give you the notes later on. Now please listen to the lecture. So we have to start in such a way that how do people think the world religions begin? And this may be true or not, but it is trustworthy. As far back in human history as we can go, we find man eager to set the depth of world's creation. Okay. Every people wants to know where does the world begin, or when does the world begin. The very first account we read is practically in every religious literature is about description, how the world began, isn't it? And how the world was created. And how man was given dominion over everything on earth. That is what we want to know. In India, there are people who consider the world is a part of a beginningless and endless process, alternating between phases of potentiality and expression, just like the seed and the tree. From the seed comes the tree, and from the tree comes the seed. That means, according to this Indian tradition, they believe that there is no beginning or ending to the seed and the tree. So that is one view. But long before people attempted to decipher, to learn the blurred idea of creation, they were interested in many questions. Human beings are interested in many questions. Unlike any other creatures, man was very queer in that way. He was very eager to learn new things, to know everything. And why, the word why, was among the first word he learned to use. You may experience, you may learn from a child. The child will keep on asking questions, isn't it? That eagerness is in man. So he uses it constantly from morning till night. Why? Why? Okay, that question comes to human minds. For example, a question like this may come. Why does the sun shine in the daytime and not at night? Isn't it? Where does the sun go after nightfall? Why does the sickle moon grow fat and round from night to night? Where is the wind when it doesn't blow? Why does it always thunder after lightnings? Why is the sky blue? Why is grass green? Or even, why does a cat has a tail? Like that, isn't it? Though it may be very simple questions, but human keep on asking questions. Whatever he sees, whatever he hears. So, like that, when man began to question everything, the answer come up in such a way that it may become the belief of mankind. Not only he started asking questions, but he even tried to answer them. Okay, he even tried to answer them. Now asking questions is another thing, answering them is another, quite another. Anyone can ask questions, isn't it? But not everyone can answer these questions correctly. Like most people of these days, the man of thousands years ago used his imaginations to answer those questions. Even if he did not know the answer, he imagined what the answer might be and started telling what he believes or thinks. That is the beginning of many beliefs from early perspective. We would say the man of long ago was a great storyteller. When someone asks, why does the sun rise its morning and set its night? The storyteller might readily answer in order to convince the audience that the sun up there is a big wheel of fire, and the sun spirit takes a ride each day across the sky to see the world. At night it goes to bed in the hole of darkness. That's how the storyteller might tell. The next morning he takes out again to another ride across the skies. But if the sun spirit should feel lazy one day or angry, he would not take his ride and the sun would not shine that day. That's the answer given, isn't it? That's how beliefs started. So then the question, when the storyteller told the audience like that, a question arises again from the audience that if the sun would not shine, how would we be able to go hunting for our food? So the next questions automatically come up. If the sun doesn't rise when they did not see the sun, when they did not saw the sun, when they didn't see the sun, that question comes out. And the storyteller in the beginning might say, I don't know. But the storyteller shrugged his shoulders, okay? And he tried to keep on answering even those questions by telling that. But we can keep the sun spirit from being lazy and angry. How? The next question is how? The storyteller uses wild imaginations, which is some will believe. Now from his made-up story, okay? Even the storyteller believes what he says by telling them that we can make the sun spirit happy by going up to the top of the mountains, then sings to the sun spirit and praise him for not being lazy. Though this seems to be a bit queer in the beginning, but when people start believing that, they don't mind getting up early in the morning and climbing up to the top of the chilly mountains in order to please the sun spirit, which could ease their livelihood. If they doesn't please the sun spirit, the sun will not shine that day, and they might not go out for hunting, isn't it? So that's why they try to make the sun spirit happy by started worshipping the sun. That is how sun worship might have been started in the beginning. This might be true because there are many sun worshippers around the globe. And the story doesn't stop there. Once there is a belief in the sun spirit, okay, the next thing is that people start believing in another spirit as well. People start thinking if the sun has a spirit, the moon, the star might also have a spirit, because the moon also have rolled out every night in the sky. So they started worshipping even the moon spirit, and they consider the twinkling stars also might have spirits, so they even started worshipping the stars too. But they consider it as a lesser spirit, means lesser importance. Slowly the spirit to be praised and flattered grew in numbers likewise. So people start believing in many spirits. There was the angry spirit of the thunder, the busy spirit of the wind, the weeping spirit of the rain, and the gentle spirit of the rivers, and the mysterious spirits of the woods, and the restless spirits of the oceans. Thus the worship of the spirits of nature. Okay, the worship of the spirits of nature was the first religion of mankind, according to worldly perspective. Worship of nature. It is called nature worship. So that is what the people think. The first religion of mankind is nature worship. Even our forefathers in our tribal area are also worshipping nature. Singbu Swangbu Vietnam. That's how like that worship might have started. As time went on, the more the people multiplied, the spirit they worship also multiplied rapidly. And the story will continue like this. One day, that storyteller miraculously escaped from the great forest fire, and he began to think on that day that some things might have protected him from that great dangers. So the people start asking him, how could you escape such a big forest fire he told them that his family spirit had protected him from that forest fire. And when asked again, where does your family spirit lives, resides? He readily answered, in a frog. My family spirit live in a frog. But he says, but not an ordinary frog, of course. It is a frog the size of that hills yonder. The size of that hill. It has only one eye, but its head is covered with ears. And out of his forehead grows a golden horn. He had started using his wild imagination, isn't it? Maybe that may not be his composed imagination, maybe out of fear. Since he was caught in the middle of a forest fire, he might be very afraid. He might even lose his mind, and he may saw visions that day, isn't it? So he says that his family spirit might have protected him from the forest fire, and that family fire, from his imagination, or from his vision, so to say, he might have seen a big frog. But that frog is not an ordinary frog. It has a golden horn on his forehead, and the frog was covered with ears, so that the frog can listen to every cry or every prayer, like that. That may be the reason. And when the people start questioning him, we haven't seen such frog. And how does he answer back? He answered, of course not. People might not see that frog. You may not see that frog. I'll make an image of that frog so that everyone could see. So he started molding a frog, the image of the frog, and tell the people that this is the frog I had seen that day when I was miraculously escaped from that forest fire. So he had made one image of the frog which had saved his life. So from that time onwards, image made of stones, image made of woods, clays, which looked like animals or birds, or even some were half man and some were half animal, or half animals and half birds, and many look like no living creatures on earth. Okay, many looks no other living creatures on earth. So the people no longer worship the nature spirit, but worship these many images. And thus, idol worship started everywhere. This is how idolatry or idol worship might have started. So the first religion of mankind is nature worship. Nature worship. And how from nature worship to idol worship started is what we are discussing. When the storyteller started making out the image of that big frog, then, according to human imagination, if that such mysterious creature could save the life of man, could have a spirit, the other images also will have spirit. So people keep on making different type of images. Hey, you ha. He nature worship ki hang ki padang igen ta wai thei siam ki din ta hoi pan na idol worship hong ki pat kyak ki dam pen kha mi khat ve hong pai ke chiang a kha mo ni sa in spirit ne he chi ang din ta chang a kha aban ka pai lam tai din ta pai lam ta mo even the moon or even the forest, the river, the wind, the thunder might have a spirit chi kha automatically ka malama hong pot me chu phuchima bang ina hey, idol worship. Me kadana why frog ha frog in spirit why ha family spirit ka why omahi chi ong kim ta ta ka adang dang lemin ha why imagination tom tom mi nga om the re ila was de kam bang je ga ma ha imang lam ko imu mo til ala lao wa imu te khong imang khonga gan hin la hi lo mi hin la hi lo chidana ha mo pai te kha tua Google search leo chine ka images of demons chi mo demons to am to mi chidinga mi hin la hi lo gan hin la hi lo half man half beast chi te khong tamak tam hong ki pan khe chu azia kha akibam dia babor mok la wai lom lom pathian dia min din ka thei ro chang ma kha mo alam dan de unnatural de thil te khang bol chang min gin ta pa pa chang ma kha pu chang de biak na idolatry idol worship started in that way chika pa pa na asub da ehia mo kai hang ha pa ni idea tampi ti ma khek thil la me na ke ti ngin ka he hai hu chi na when men started believing in idols, when people start believing that the spirit resides in that idols, when million bol tom te kha omahi, kili the na omahi chi kami thong kin ta ta ko ka, idolatry kha thong wang ma amai na, and after that, what came? These idols, so the people believe, if flattered enough by prayers and sacrifice. If flatter kiti amdan so suki pak lua mo anak phat same wa prayers and sacrifice tung tona why idols they hong worship chang ka had the power to do good to the people who believes in them and to harm their enemies chi kami nong gin ta pa mo ai chu why idol ka ibia ka I phat I suki pak ngai ngai le why na ka pan bo zo he ai kêu le hoi apa ni na midang le ham set he chỉ khap gin tam na wai ngun tai chu and after what came if a man quarrel with his neighbor he could come and pray to his favorite idol to make his neighbor suffer in one way or the other the evil song the panai chuma anh khang pa to anh khang nu to ki nak sang na idol spend yang na ka thu min chen kai khang nu ka gotin no kibum na kichi hong ki pan tai jo but the neighbors had idols too wow and whilst a man prayed to his own idols to punish and touch his enemies his heart was uneasy about the spirit of his enemies idols might do to him and his household idol worship ngom tak taka kha mo ama nin gen pa se na de thum idols changa apa chen changa anh về pan lệ ama sẽ là gì ama idols ana thum sẽ lại chăng à mình lùng sừng bôi tai chứ mà bây giờ cả cái đang lại philip phụ thế con lại cả khăn là cái bùm tua sừng sừng mà có sự đam phong cả cái bàn tay to protect themselves against the power of the evil spirit mina abum zo na di na people began to wear little images of their idols around their neck no cái bằng một hem cả ngong khom kut khom khong ki bun tai ve waist or ankles ma le e sing tang ni te ni but jelu bang ale suang kwa na thei ba ma kai kut khom khe khong but sang te wala ma le no le bun ka ban lai de hiu wa vai ka doi la tao nang sup na lok na de chi vai lap na ana he mai je nei chu these are called amulets or talismans it's not amulets it's in like that. With certain amulets in their possession, they believed they could throw spells or perform magic by calling the right names of certain spirit. Why it will all tezegam ibu tezegam apan ka apui sam siam len ka why ham magic kili thik na di om di hi chi ding tan na bang le mama which someone could open the gates of the future and see what is going to happen. Why thil tung to na ka maban ding thil te le gen khop na om ding a hagin tan na om he ai le ba na with this belief spreading among the people they began spending much of their time in plotting to harm their enemies through sorcery and witchcraft which they have dena tibum na te tom te hidinga mi tampi te na hi chebanga doi thili thikna doi le kau thili thikna mi te nung kim ta ta kona alung sum tam pi te kha wai te kha mi te nung zang na ko china So every person had some enemies. May kimil mak tuak na kangum ta kimil mak tuak in veng ai kena ko khat kimil mak na hong omina. Everybody began to be afraid all the time that their enemies were at that time invoking the evil powers to harm them. Min khalak thong na hong bom same ta mo. Kamay makeng kha itung abot na di na banga bol dia mo. Kasi kung subang hong chang na if a man becomes ill, he believes his enemies had wished upon him through witchcraft, and he started to think of ways to avenge himself. Nirang lai pila puti na gil na lai na kung umsiya na kitoy mo kung sama vox si samhong ka kitoy mo kung sama siya agil na kung hong dam mo si dana ulit gil tat na ziyat mo ka makadoy la kaw na suk na bila na ngay to re ko mo medicine sum ma ka mi kambi ka na gil na bila na dam ti bebeu ay la huchi hun lai na with this belief spreading among the people, they began spending much of their time plotting. Since every person had some enemies, everybody began to be afraid. No. Ako mi lumwang hinolo. Melman in vexing mokta et cetera. Kaya ka pila putitan pan hipatan of the living religions in the world today. Some are very old, some are so young that many people can remember when they first started. Kaya again, loy kan pan like it palay. Wow, put sa bama kibum na. Itong practice their own life society. Put sa bama like itong pumpi adik ising tang nila galoy. To developed countries kong movies kong 11 ghost story, ghost movies tong de kong mo. Tradition dan at bang tampion de hits ngay. I love what idolatry akipan na many evils started coming out. Akipan nila mi hong pilde na bang pungon tale. Some very wise people thought it over all and realized that the root of all these evils was idol worship. It's a katlakat kimil magzeng zum na de kongom takina bang pungon tale. So they started out to preach against idol worship. Idol worship kichipen minang de mo. Idol worship they started a new form of religion which changes in time as the people change. India le reformers religious reformer kong kalamenay. Ay le huchi ahiya pavela sakwa tuam te hong piang khakdan ka. Kichina religion kichi kha sakwa religion kichi kha bang thuma la kwan ki pan khe do chi ten ka asum na khen khakte na singpung kicha ke pa na hong ki pan khe ding hi chi ngai to na ne omo adik ge khat the zo ai nom ke a singpung ni chang na sakwa kichi ka singpung to anake wa like trees religion begin with a seed no amu khat seed a ke pan nong ke pan khe na khen khat te pen kha sau tung ma loina sina some die young and some grow to towering heights with many flourishing branches. One branch to am to bang nei na khen khat te kha fully grown khen khat te kha cha ong ke pan bang leom hei te su ta na khawela sakwa teng kha akibak na vek da na ai kele sakwa tuam te kha related to each other no kita na vek hi dan no su dan oma. The history of religion refers to the written records of human religions, feelings, thoughts, and ideas. Really, feelings, thoughts, ideas to te. Why to go from a sakon ki pan trading he? Sidan oma. Why jaka sakwa ki ka prehistory? Hong ki pat ke dan tamzo ha. When you talk about prehistory before the written records. China here, prehistory China. Written record umlo na so oral tradition na. Ticha ki gento to te anaki ginta tampi oma. Case writing plays a major role in standardizing religious texts, regardless of time or location, and making easier the memorization of prayers and divine rules. Written report of Maka. This period of religious history begins with the invention of writings. Invention of writing, no? Like the home keep up ka. Let's talk about this. Home keep standardized. Ay dan ka. The belief in many gods gave way to the belief in one God. Site ka. Aba na kung supi dinga. Wala tua again ta dina kape kung revise din ho china. The next perspective yan dinga. Worldly perspective gain kina hiya. So again ta dina kape kung revise visual dinga. Sa ko giti pen bang tong di pangya me di chega na mihing te pen. Til thik wood na kinin chen dang dang te bang lo. Til thik tam the be wood na kinai chana. Bây giờ cái ít thọ cái phần ít lúc tana ha, bằng hiểm ha, thị bút nào cái này, nào nghe cái phong, ai kia làm bao thị phần phần nào ha, anu là ba tên là con bị chơi mà lấy khôi lạc không có bị chơi, ai bằng anu bằng chỉ kéo mà vai thiệu tên thị bút nào này nào, bằng một nào mình nature ha, cô chị nào ha, như đang nói ha, tua lấy tung cái lồng đan thế. Bằng giờ cái này suna sa suna hong suy cả, giờ là tụm giờ liam chỉ không cả, hai question cả ông nghe đây chứ, bây giờ nga, ni sa asat lâu giờ nga ha, anh ấy ta có dùng thế lâu, ni đang là hunter sẽ giờ nga ha, ai kêu lệ, anh nào tâm bị xem thế lâu giờ nga ha, ni sa pen sốc cái bạc so mình sun worship cái chỉ không mà, tôi lại cầm chẳng căng tất Japan chỉ không Southeast Asian country tâm bị thế. Misa belai sun worshipper tam pium lai pavela religion tam pite pucha banga sun worshipper om thei chu til dang biak na le mo igam mani purtan pha le kha mi ti ten kha thil ten ting a pathian om thei da na ngai toina singbul suangbul belai chu suang lam dang deu khat mu leo amaya kun diu mo sing thung lian pi mu leo amaya kun diu pa nature worship ki che ya bây giờ thiếu tiếng Anh spirit này đi ra là gìn tát nà cả, mo, vậy cả. Nature worship. Nature worship is the first religion of mankind, chỉ cả. Bây giờ mình sẽ sụt tan nhá. Abana, cái nature worship à cái bạn này nature chỉ pen lian white chẳng là it's beyond human control, mo. Nature chỉ pen lian white chẳng là cả. Cứ chỉ bằng là mình tên apa thiên nó nếu rồi không định tao cho spirit ama control thì điều. Không định tao chứ, bây giờ cái đó story again bao cái nào, hỏi mi cái đó gầm lắc mê ca ngã pan lâm đăng tất cả, không sợ ta à cái pa gì đó, alom xem bài kia lên mấy thế, ai cái ngày còn là sắm rồi lên mấy thế, amit kha mu lo đinh pi lên mu khai mấy thế, hỏi sợ cái sắc cú pen kha, frog cái gì chứ, no, cái frog cái gì bằng kha, lâm đăng là sao mấy thế vợ, I have very common thing pen, cái này tung kumpia, story meets tradition tuang toma. Even our Dante's Brigand mo, una gang ti tan fine lekha, ni dang laya ukeng upok anabiak lai o mai chumo, people kang thua ka, a documentary na mo khadiwa, surreal Dante na bol ka. Ni dang laya amao ka away frog yan bi khat anabiak kun lai, gene chu pi puten. Ni wa frog pen ka, anatha hak je kwa, mo. Ako sungkum bi ka pakelung go chỉ có cái mùa linh cặp về công sen đi ngá mới tỷ lệ bột việc là làm cả có chỗ nào upok frog việc nào cũng tỷ lệ phụ khẳng thôi là nó may các sự là nhá ai nói frog cái gì tiền cả min một khâu mua cái chăng à không ạ bằng chỉ bằng frog à chăng à khác tuần một khâu thì dễ mà lại coi à hậu sập pi có là khác dùng nhiều phong mà mình chỉ ăn một đĩa xì ăn một đĩa xì chỉ là cái gì tao mà này anh kia in file copy à cái này thằng à tôi cái phụ pan pan ta sinh cung liên PPO mình chỉ nói sinh cung liên là liền quay lắm gì tôi không phải thà gian đặc shop này cái mặt chứ cái mặt còn chứ
thì lấy mi là cái check cái mặt này lâu chứ còn là gìn cái nhầm mà anh cái là gìn tao hỏi thế mà hàng à hàng có chuyện nào cả quay frog liên kia tiền của mình muốn nói chăng à mà khẳng thắc cái muốn nói nó muốn mà điều ya chỉ cả mà ai là quay tại cả frog cái bóng bồ tay chứ cái đàn đàn này frog cầm một chứ mà thì chả cả alien bóng bồ lên frog cả cái golden horn bằng mà aku mà khai abil này mà chỉ không alam đang được điểm hình tiền cảที่หลอกเขดิงค่ะไว้เป็นค่ะห้องอมตาไว้จะกะเลยอ่ะเลยตัวมามิลิมปัจเจกนี่สิของไอตัวเลี้ยวจนว่า the common nature ค่ะบาง common character ค่ะมีหิงเลยเหลวกันหิงเลยเหลวมั่วลำดังเด็กนี่ใช่ไหมไว้เป็นปัจเจกเป็นของเลี้ยวจนว่าอะไรมาลำดังไงชุฮานุมานนี่สิของว่าสองระบังมีหิงระบังที่ต่างของว่าไอ้ที่ละจะตัวเตะสายปีด้านมนในจุดของหม้อพูดจะด้านนะครับในอินเดียเล่นเราเห็นยุโรเปียนคันทรีสเลยครับพูดจะบอกในเราทำมาเห็นมาเดมอนส์ก็จริงฉันไอเมสตั้งมาตั้งอมเดมอนแต่ในตรงตัวนะครับมูทีดีงะตัดไปเริ่มตั้งให้เริ่มเลยโซ่ดิ้งเงินตัวนี้ใจกันนะพูดจะด้านของเบียกนะครับไอดอลวอร์ชิปตัวด้านนั้นเก็บไปให้ไอปีเล่พูดจะด้านพาเลยครับsimbol song bo ne biak na wai ai le simbol song bo biak na ki pa ne na he sa ko chang kang zo de hong pian khak na da na aki ding ta kha bang yam worldly perspective ai ko gen gen kha ko cha na kha bang cha na hong pian khem che na I will worship de na gen ba ki na mi teng in me ma ne mo pe chu doi le ka ki bum po veng vung ama pa thian che biam chu na pa thian jang hai pa go tin quay bắt cái này quay bắt gỗ tin chỉ sẽ chia ông về người trong qua mà ông không muốn nol không muốn thay nol mà quay tại cả religious and social reformers thế nào qua Indian history social Indian history religious reformer cả qua số mi Vivekananda hiam phát triển lệ hết gì cả ấy à phát triển vài phát triển lim có ông như vậy quay cả vài phát triển lim mai cả nét cái của Israel này ra các imu thay đổi chính là chiang à các chú sa các hông phải chính phải phát hiện lim mai wa nét thì các chú sa hông nè chú mà hông nè mò ai làm ăn hoài con alung sung khét năm năm nào chú thế các phát hiện là chú sa các lấy hồ khét sâu lôi vậy biết ta cái gì chứ đó nào social reformer không phải chú mà này religious reformer không phải chú hút chứ đó nào các là các hít chứ đó nào cái bùm tọa danh sung à apa kian chat bia ko da na kha om chang la min pai jin ta na wa mi pil bang teng kha hu chi bang pen sa pha hu chi bang pen dik thilo ding hi chi da na kha om cha ke na he le tunga to sa ko chang kang zo tom te hong pian ke da na ki ge na hi ole to again dan te pen kha ine simple da kha le tunga sa hong ki pat dan adik de hi bel ti thilo ai hanga kha leitung pum pia thilom dan de changa kha oi as a whole ai changa kha kuchi bang pen again ta phai ma ama scholar ten asu dan to ten again ta ai le hoi kha worldly perspective gen hi ai le tu na hoi worldly perspective pen kha dik dia dik lo dia tu na biblical perspective which dinga e Christian te na sa kwa dik tam ki pat dan kha bang che bang hi zo hiam ke na nature worship idol worship ke pan he cha to sa kwa modern religion tiang piang yam chi kha ngo he athum na kha te modern religion chi me ding ma ye kha worldly perspective asu da na hi phát hiện tắc thì khá lâu thế để phải về hệ dịch na gin ta thôi ấy those who do not know the true God no those who do not worship the true God their origin might be the same with this phải khá adik dira na khá gin ta đấy now from the biblical perspective yếm ding Tại tu lệ tu sót sừng tao quá khát về relax dịch đi na không đinh sòng hiểm điếu lên nó bằng khát vào con nên nó khát về Okay, stretch your hand. Yang lá. Ala ko yan ang kipa na. Yeah, worldly perspective ang kipa na. Sa ko masapeng kabang biyak na ngale. Nature worship. From nature worship comes idol worship. And from idolatry comes modern religions. Tom. Thế mà không kipa na hết gì cả. Tôi chém để ngay. The origins of true religion. True religion. There is an all-wise God. He is the eternal, self-existent, vitalizing force of the universe. A personality who has created and intelligently directs all things. He did not come from anywhere. He has always existed. He is life inherent, the first cause. After bringing order out of chaos and preparing the earth for man, God created man, male and female, created Eden. Genesis bungthum na to jing kawina isima. We have read Genesis chapter 3. Koi fan sa dina sa kwadik tak kichipen bang tabang di panghyam chika. To the remaining class na kung gen reading ha. Pathian khat kichi. Ana omina pathian ana omina kichi dinga. Ama tang to na om self-existent. Ama alema na no. Vitalizing force of the universe. Yeah. Hui hua. Tiri thei. Thupi tak. Paka a personality. Personality ti sang na pathian. Ming te pathian pat pia bol hi na kha. Ming bang. No, it's the personality ne. Ada thei, akipa thei. Chinai personality sang na. Who has created and intelligently direct all things. Hoi pathian na thiu teng. Ama na bol thiu teng ama chi dan na pa hi chi. Ama kha ong ki pat naum ke ya atop ni lem ke dinga. Ama ki pan thiu teng hoi pathian khat na ki pan thiu teng piang ke hi chi kin ta na pen kha. Hoi pen kha ilai sang thong to na isu te hi ya. Hoi na thiu teng kha on convince di religion study na thiu ya. After bringing order out of chaos. Genesis chapter 1 verse 2. The earth was void. West actually na. No, west. Leitung Asia pen pakin hongbol thak dan na ki gene Genesis chapter 1. Isin na wa mo. Leitung pen aski sa pen pakin na ni khat ni ani guk ni kana leitung pen Ming teten ti ding paken hongbol sa ai dan ka order out of chaos kasi come and preparing the earth for man. Kasi na paken na Genesis bungni na nasim kit sawa pa na leitung pen paken na ming teten ti adina habitable place, habitable planet dana paken na hongbol sa kitina. Only after that he created man and woman. Sikat last thon siam ka sakwa ai kele ming te ke pat na hon sin sakta na ya. After man's creation, God revealed to him true religion. If I so na biblical perspective aso pasan ming te abol kya ka ki panena sa khodik tak pen ming lung tanga chi tu pa ai che. He gave man information concerning the character of God and what he wanted man to do. Ming masapen teng paten ade dante gen pa ina pathian kichipen bang chubang hiam chi pa ama lama til chen pa ina ming ten ahi lo diu bang yam chi le pathen na ming te thei sak pa ai adam te la thega ne lo ding achi bang no. But God gave moral laws to govern man's action towards his fellows and positive laws to cause him to retain his faith in God. Pathen na moral law asia pa chi te moral laws Keming te govern to ding ina apya. Pabana positive laws. Ming khat kala ding dan te pathelena on piai. Poi tung to na pathian khat gin ta na pe. Ming lung tang den dia pathelena chitu sao rain. These laws were so universally planted in the hearts of all people that it has become impossible for the rebels of time and sin to obliterate them achia. Kaya pathelena ming masapen ming te tianga koi dan na ko isang pen ha. Aming te lung tang wai dan khat ako isang pen. It's like a conscience. Mo wai pen ha. Khove hom ta to zen ina wai pen mang thei tak tak to no ming lung tang ta. Mo. Revealed to the first people who ever lived on earth, they yet live in the hearts of man. Why ming masapen lung tang paten chia tu sa pen ha tui tana ming ong piang kya te lung tang mang thei lo khat. Den he. Later, when man was exceedingly corrupt, Ming tepen no hunlai na Genesis chapter 6 dinga. Ming tepen hong gilo luat takuna. God spoke to Moses and other prophets, revealing additional penalties at Sudan. Patin na leitung masapen, tuichi nila. Leitung masapen, ana God simita. Only 8 survivor. No, si mua. Hoy kipala ming tepen. Hong corrupted a nature pen hong corrupt patin na tunga. Ako ipen hong corrupt logical type na hukina patin na law of Moses hong pia. Law of Moses. Moses dan pen ka with many penalties and punishment. No. May penalties kala ka ken ka ko chaba ma patin dan bo sia chu suang ate luk ti chi mai. Chi kan point na penalties thupi tak to patin hong ko ya. God dealt with men not as men should have been but as men was. Patin mi hing tepen eh nabang taka hong deal di le ka. Leitung aswak ta zoring ko om lo laina leming imas ming masapen adam bang ng khial pa mo kai changa ming te pen a khial thei chi pathen na wai tung to na hon deal enjoying. Hence this law set severe penalties to them. When it had been thoroughly demonstrated, man could not find his way out of his own trouble, nor even keep those laws which the benevolent Father had given. Pathen na ming te honit na zaka da hon piak te hoi te kan pha le ming te pen ki swak ta zo tuan lo hoi dan te siam tang zo tuan lo a yom da kina atop kong kong na bang chi. God sent his son to the world to abrogate the old laws pa kaya na hoi dan mo sidan khap tak te mo po sao teng tengin zek sum ding chi khong ai ke le zek sum te de chi khong ai ke le gan sa sana pathian biak ding chi khong ai kele hoi tabernacle Jerusalem ji che pathian biak ding chi khong ai kele sabat nia bang ma na set lo ding an le wan lo ding chia mi hing te da khak tak tak ki bol te pe cross mo pathian ata patang nei sung solin chen hoi cross Jesus Christum to na hoi dan te le hong la khyak sak tin chen suanga ki de lup na te khong le pathian top sakin chen and to place men under a system of mercy and grace, the New Testament law. Kuchina pathen na gai thukun tak dan he pinal thu tak chi ha pathen hon pia. This is the origin of true religion chi ha isu dan ya hoja ka to isu dan pe na we have to convince all other beliefs gindan ko am ton te khong le I convince so ali na he ha taka systematic taka study hong ko pi de kaya religion tom te ho hong ki patan te le hoi religion to am tom teng la ka Christian sa ko pen to isu dana to tom chika a summarize format kung sima kung sut pi dana na atun pa kele la wana bola alamin te on khel takuna ho pa kele min te pen adan lampi hon bol sakina min te ki bol hoi kina digina ming masak teng pen no ati chi mina na got chimit tamale hoi mo si dan hoi ti chin tu ngale noa le ta te hong khial mon zel hoi ta ka dan khau tak ngoi la discipline khau tak ngoi pa ming te ko ngale ko ma adana sam tang zo lo dan lo se zui na jaka siam tang ding ko ma yom no lo takina pa khen ai ko ve ai ma ho chin ata patang nei su hon pia ho chin ai te pen happy na dan na hon vai ho What happy na dan ke chi ha the law of grace ke chi pen ka New Testament law no by New Testament tum to na ki put kia pen kha Christian sa kwa hi pai pen kha true religion hi sa ko dik tak hi chi kha pai kha ng profit din ka hi ai le dena worldly perspective again dan to the origin of true religion ki chi pen kha den che comparison about dinga ai le tuna dot na hum thei ka kha how could mankind forget a pure religion after it has been revealed ita ai le bangja kan hin te di pile puten single songbul khong ana be zen o pathena tunga pan he sa kho dik tak ning lung ta ko ten bangja kan hin ten mangit the ya si question mom ta hai man being what he is man was certain to go a whoring after practically useful gods and fetishes which he could keep in his wallets or medicine bag ming te pen koi pathian tak pen alung tangwa pathian tak pen mangit somina mo thil tuam dang single songbu bek nai chi kha ghost doi le kaw hong ding ta na hong wang ina ai ke la pathian penu a wallet khonga pocket khong cha koi thik nei dim mo alu kham mo khonga koi thik diu ai ke la jina bak na khonga a suitcase songa khonga pathian a pok thik diu mo ku chi khong kham hing ten kha koi lampanga ungai sang lo mo ko in need of food and blood afraid of spell and binding charms are corrupt but to men useful consequence ming ten khau chubang ina ama control na noya pathian ten ha ko so mo chu pai ja ka ama odi chema mel ma te bot sak bot te ga ko ming te out of selfishness a khai chubang thil te kha hong mo pai ja kuna hi chubang ina again here every step taken in religion by man since Adam a kipan ni hing te na if it was not in the right line of monotheism pathian tak biak na no monotheism a kipan hi te nge le ka must have been away from the truth of revelation hoi ja ka Adam a kipan na pathian khat biak na monotheist he pathian khat biak na apa na polytheism ki chi hong biak nei chi ka proof ko nei hoi ja khen monotheism line pathian dik tak khat biak na ai te nge le ka atunga kapan mi nga ming te ana ki revealed why religion a ke pa na pial mang na idinga hi chi kha in proof ka hiya the only evolution the evolution of error man's imagination when once it abandons the one guide becomes the prey of all sorts of perversion of the monstrous customs of heathendom which it is useless to trace as they lead away from the truth hiam dan chu min ten kha hell right line of monotheism ki che mo hell line dik tak kha hell line dik tak apai tang khat khovel siam tunga ki pan na line dik tak ana pai tang khat me ve hell right line of monotheism ki pan na khat ve miang pia kyak na na chu mo hong pia khia chela ki ngol lo kyak yal mang sem sem mo branch to an to je ti ka sem sem en che kem dan chu khovel sa ko tong pia ki dan kha here right line of monotheism he khat ve hong pia kyak na na where one that abandons the one guide become the prey of all sorts of perversion je mo khat ve abandon pe ma che na gian thích non lộc một kiểu tam việc phát triển tắc à cái phát này nè ai cái này religion thì cả cái phát này nè không kamang xem ai đàn ha và không thấy gì hết drastic lộc kia là no cái right line khát anh mà hết atang papai tang khát anh mà hết tung à cái phát này nè qua cái phát nông tiêu cái gì cả có vẻ là sọt tọt sạc qua tuam religion tọt tông tiền hết gì cả sụt gì đó này this devolution continues for hundreds and perhaps thousands of years devolution no then a worldly perspective a pendle evolution is chang akha ahoi lo agi pan ahoi zo no from the lower to the higher form aha hong piang khia dan na the worldly perspective a issue line na why ana hizolo na atunga kha perfect religion anom sa why perfect religion agi pan na perversion it's a pial khak na ki pan na sa kwa tuam te idolatry hong om de abana idolatry ati panina nature worship honga back to nature hong so dingo what is all he chika ai le bang ja kai pi le poten singbul songbul ana biya gam changina hei pathian tak thak pen atai san na apel san na hundreds and thousands of years ong ik changa ka atopa he idol worship hong nature worship hong lu thak ki zo he pathian tak amang hil naw aso lo tak changa ka aso lo tak apai khel naw aso lo tak jaga ka noจะสักว่าที่เราควรต้องเดี๋ยวเตียงให้จีครับก็ขัดดิบสุดยังไง religion ที่จีครับ evolution ที่เราเรียก devolution เนาะเอาอย่างที่ปันเนี่ยนะอดีตที่ปันอดีตเราล้ำไปนะอันนี้สอนอีกด้านกันที่ยังไง devolution on topเลย the devolution continued for hundreds and perhaps thousands of years. Some people, however, did not ascend into ignorance and superstition. लेकिन हत्ते का downgrade तोक ले उन्हें कोई superstitious belief तन्हियम किग्नोम या लिदाना पेन हेन खत पैतना अप्यल मंग लोग उम्दे वे हो they retain a knowledge of the original revelation of man हेन हत्ते का कोई एदम होना के पन गिपिया कोई साकवा पेन अनमंग हिल लोग उम्दे for example in the days of Noah hun लाइना मी लेतुं पुम्पील वा दिम्पियला मी ओम लाइना Noah and his family could remember the true God. Noah in content pathian na pok three ban lai chu. Leitung mi te khel na dim lai le. Noah pe in kwa na wai alung tam wa kha wai true religion pen ana retain thei lai. Ni om de he. Noah called upon God when the hearts of others imagine only evils. Kaiban Abraham ki chi pathian na ur kwa ke pana sak khek lai kha. Ur kwa kha it's a idol worship. Cities of idolatry kichi hiya hiya urko chika hoi gipan pakena Abraham samke themo chen jo Abraham still retained the true religion chi omthe the more enlightened civilized and intelligent men were the closer they remained to the original idea of religion hoi ja ka ho che banga mi ana kham to same changwa kha koi true religion kichi pen kha ming lung tanga hong an online ming pen imol wat changa kha single songbul bek nala ki bai lam hi zo chi nai yong kan to sem changa kha khang khongela khang mi khang to te sa ko kha he true religion to anaki nai ja pe pen chi da nai aba nan ngai it is not to be supposed that all hidden people reach to the same depth of depravity nor that all people even one such nation descend to the same depth leitung pumpia mi ting thawai tanga anatwal niam ananyam tiak be sam lo mo pen khat ke kha koi original religion to na kinai se do le ombe ve some people learn only of the original patriarchal religion and the present hidden condition is a corruption of the system. For example, Israelites is dinga akela sang how in a history aget why hebrew mi te koi mi te tan chim dang kham thu e cheng na Israel te kham thu cheng ama te na pathian pat bek na ke chi api le pu khangwa pat ana sui bo mai chu ai hang amao te la ka le to sa kha du le ka kyal mang tam tiong ve ai hang amao te pi le pu ke pan na sa kha dik tak line ana zui kha o le o ma hi le tu ma ka others learn not only the system but the additional truth taught by Moses is Israel ka ten kawai Mosi yana pathian thugen ke ana thei ban nam Nambang ang white Israel nam tesin ay dinga. Others in their hidden system so that they have borrowed ideas from the religion of Christ and have corrupted them. Thus at different times and places men have left the truth and started down to the pot of hedonism. Hesa kodik tak agipan nila. For example, Islam sa bang mo half they took some portion from the Judaism. Tukun mereka pan bangsa hiam lau, tukun tak apan bangsa hiam lau, Jesus Christ apan bangsa hiam lau ucia ka sakwa dam ka Islam kici, pakai hadiah na hibewe, kipan le. Why bana? Next period ilak dia hak kalon cakap na religion na Hinduism ampat pide kaitu. Wah Hindu sakwa kici bang ka abul pat na hongit cakap na Christianity ka kinai Bible ka kinai mo. Kuci dan teh ha. Hei sak kuadik tak lagi pan na pial mang na hidup kehidupan ha. Improve pi dingkai. the biblical account of devolution. Hey, Bible sang hat chang te no la. Ecclesiastes 7:29. Ming te pen bang chida na sakhadik apan sakhadik lo yang ke mo ke here. Ecclesiastes 7:29. This is the second verse. Scripture reading in Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. Kung pekina to na jay subject lesson to kisayna. Sapa simulan ka, God made men upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Ito sapa baka. Please repeat after me. God made men upright.
God made men upright.
But they have sought out many inventions. What I mean, they pen oh buki mahon bolay. Ay hanga na invention to am to. Pok mo. Ecclesiastes 7:29. No. Then the next verse would be the conclusion of the Bible verse 1:21-25. True religion na kipan na sa kwad mi hingten na tunga sa kwadik tak na inapi bang sila na huchitela mi hingten ben nyam kya ka singbul suangbul biak na gignon kay hiyam sika. It will be discussed in Romans chapter 1 verse 21-25. Could anyone please stand up and read this verse? Romans chapter 1 verse 21-25. Start the reading.
Tawa alungtang mod na teu amial satahi tiampa hu kumtona patat ahi.
Okay, thank you. Take your seats. Please follow after me. Because that when they knew not God, they glorified Him not as God. Neither was thankful, but became vain in their imaginations. And their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. And changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like unto corruptible men and gods. Into an image made like unto the corruptible men and gods. And four-footed beasts and creeping things. Last now. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? And worship and serve the Creator more than the Creator. Ming te pe pathe na true religion hon pe tu ni na. Ming te pen ke pil sakina pathian pen hong tai sang changwa along sim ngai ko na te hong hai na puchina thil to am tuam imagination ngai to na thil te hongwa mina puchina de na again single songbu biak na pathian biak sagina pathian thil siam te no creators a creator biak sagina a creators te biak na kichika hongwa mina puchin ming te morality pen hong nyam hiai hong nyam te na gam sa te to kibang lelina ming te pen khirna puklut khirna pathiana kipan ipial mang sem changa ming te pen ki downgrade dik mo morality lama ka pucha ka te symbol song bo biak na te kong hongma hi dam ka ya ka akigen zo hoja kena the origin of true religion again na ka religion kichi pen mol chi ka kipan hong phang to wa hong ki develop ki solo bina religion kichi pen tu gina adik tak khat omina hoi kipan ming pathian tak khat hong abandon hong tai san se kina ming te sak ko ken hong niam ke atopa gahin te ho melem song symbol sam gam na te hong om hi zoi kan kha ke romin again pen kha dik ma ma ding ai chi thei dinga according to Paul ทุกคนทัก righteous มินทางมาเฮีย the divine alone is real all else is error แต่โซตาโปลเกียมด้านใหม่นะปัจจัยเนี่ยอดีตเฮียอดังเต็งอดีตโลกเฮียแต่เกี่ยนนะครับเฮ้ยคุณสดตัดดิ้งอ่ะแต่โซตาโปลอะไรทักเกี่ยนเปลี่ยนครับa primitive religion เปลี่ยนอดีตเปลี่ยนให้เนาะอัตตัวมาเก็บปันสักว่า that primitive religions is the purest form of religion ที่จะโซตาโปลเลยนะโซตาโปลที่ครับเลยต้องพิลนาเสียมนาเล่เฮ้ยจุดได้จิม background ให้ตักเนี่ยเฮียให้ห่างอ่ะเจสุคริสต์ทรงดิ้งตัดแต่กินะอามันพอเวลพิลนาเสียมนาเต็งเตะครับนินเน่งบังเพตากัสิมาฮีเจ้าที่เราเทเจ็ดนาห้องนี้ทุกปานะอะไรครับเตะเกมครับบางอย่างไม่ใช่เลยตุลาเขาเวลจังกังนะตุงโตนะสักตัวที่โบเตเป็นครับอดีตโลกเวกที่โซ่ให้อดีตการที่ปั้นเปลี่ยนมังนาที่อะไรเพราะฉะนั้นสักข้อดิกตักเป็นอีกแค่ชุดตักกินสุด we have to go to the beginning why primitive religion เปลี่ยนครับ why กิ๊กบอลเทเลน why primitive religion is it so เฮ้ยเดี๋ยวนะเก็บปั้นนะสักความเก็บปั้นเป็นนะกิ๊กนอนเลยครับ why เปลี่ยนครับอดีตเป็นที่ไหน for example ตุลา belief ตะกี้ใช้เลยครับตัว 19th 20th century Christianity สร้างครับ first century Christianity เป็นมั้ง it is the purest form of Christianity จะได้ไหมสุดตัวครับ Christianity สุนัขเลยกินดานที่เบลักตั้มปีอมตา practice ตั้มปีอมตาเวลาห้อยเตะครับ modernism ตุ้งต้นนะที่บอกให้เตะเป็นห้อยเตะครับเปลี่ยนมังนาฮิซอยห้อย first century Christianity Christian สักว่าอากิปัตตุงลายาสักว่าไปด้านดิกตักเป็นว่าครับปัจจัยอดีตเป็นตักว่าครับ purest form ให้เพราะฉะนั้นว่า primitive อันนี้เก็บปันแค่เป็นอดีตเป็นให้จิตโพลอะไรครับเที่ยอาหารเย็นเป็นเฮียเพราะฉะนั้นตัว Western nations เตนะที่จะ inventions ตัวเตมิ่งเตพิลนาเสียมนาดุงซุยไอเกลอินเดีย social religious reformer เตนะ reform ทิวเตียวไอเกลตุลาย humanism กิจิสักว่าของมันตาไอเกล new age movement กิจิของสักของมันตาโม่ไปแต่ contemporary religion กิจิค่ะว่า study ดิ้งเฮียเพื่อจะบังเต็งเตเป็นค่ะ corrupted form of religion ที่เด็กตั้งจิตกินะสังกัดที่เลยห้อยเป็นค่ะอัตุมา true religion อาคิปันละเปลี่ยนมังมาที่โซฮิดันค่ะอีกทีหน่อยนะ Experience and history both teach that man, if left to his own devices and resources, will go backward spiritually rather than forward. Mean that if left to our own devices or thinking, mean that will go backward spiritually. Backward อะไรไปมั้งไง not forward สักพักถึงนั่นมั้งเพราะฉะนั้นก็พอความไกลตัวที่ขัดพัดเทียมขัดลุงตั้งอ่ะอิทธิกีเกลว่า why true religion เป็น why ลำเป็นค่ะ why ด้านอ่ะยี่ไปเกเลยค่ะ backward อะไรไปสักพักถึงนั่นค่ะทีนี้มันเทียบเทียบเฮียทีนี้มันเทียบเฮียซอยเพราะฉะนั้นก็ทีนี้มันเทียบอันนี้ดีกันนะ why สักว่าตัวเก็บปันเป็นบางทีอันสิลำปังอ่ะwhy เกียร์นะ why ลำตัดเกียร์ตายี่ไปเกเลยค่ะอภิลมันที่โตเด่นจริงไงThat the only true incentive of to moral and spiritual progress is not of pushing power from within, but a pulling power from without. Why na? Hon kai di hilo mo. En cross kai di na lang ma i kai di hilo na cross in yung kai di chikan le na sa ko to ke sai le ka. Mang ngai ko na tung ton i pai le ka min ha ke pai gam na same di. Til tong ka idea be thelo de mo me na ha. Ai ha na. Ko ma imagination na pai lo di. Why om sa pen. ห้อยลำฟังอ่ะค่ะที่เราคัดเทรสเลยห้อยลำฟังอ่ะค่ะเด็ดเลยค่ะมาคัดดิบดีจีนายมาคัดดิบมาดิ้งอ่ะ example ถึงคัด James D. Bells in James D. Bells in Haiti again has well said the only thing in which man is self-sufficient is sinning นี่จ้ะมิ่งแค่เอเล self-sufficient นี่นะค่ะเขียนมาลำเล่ล่ะค่ะเอเล self-sufficient พอมาเห็นไหนแล้วมั้ง akyal din ako makihil ngai lo le sildang teng teng kihil ngai se lai chu makatik din agin ta oya Socrates gave his philosophy. Socrates in lekha Socrates mi pilahia gave his philosophy, and it's a sense that we should seek self-knowledge. Socrates na self-knowledge ai kizon khekning self-knowledge ka ana getwa ma mai na ai hangin but self-knowledge only reveals to the candid and thoughtful person the depravity of man and his need of a savior. Ile self-knowledge tak ning ten hongzon changa kha huchibanga dik tak ngai to theiten kha Ming te pen bang malo me hi dan kha ti phok he sak zoi na and his need of a savior. Hondam tu poi mo hi dan ti phok he zo ta e chu. Self knowledge tung to na kha no thu dik zon khat hi mok lo. Why self knowledge tung to na ming te lung kim nak sanga self knowledge aten som leng kha ming te pen bang malo me hi dan kha depravity. Ming te pen bang malo me dan ki su khe zo ta a hi. Why je ka to Buddhism isin changa kha Buddhism bang le Kavel nop sak natin kani nung zirata tayo sana singbong mo ya changa mo enlightenment mo chidana mo sakadang pun par kemo ay chu ko chidana dilele ning pen ka wala self knowledge pen ka self knowledge na doesn't guide us to the true religion chika abana proof som ding hiyan abana Kant's philosophy calls for men to be guided by reason Ming lem diel na dana pai di taka ngai to men hoi dan ai pai le kha hoi kha dik pen me hi reason china ana ha stress ma Kant's philosophy na but pure reason exists only with perfect personality Ming perfect personality a depan reason pen dik thile le but man has never demonstrated his perfection ma ming ten kha ko ma perfect lo hi dan ki thei sem ai perfect le hang bang ken hang bel we can be guided by a reason but no one is perfect ko ja ka reason pen kha That should not be the one guide, the true guide to take no. Reason may lead one man to do one thing and another to take an entire different course. Ema reason ngai to na lemgel na pai den khatpan helam dik sadik mo adik lo ati bang lo pi dik tok to ka pai thei mo kai reason tung to na ka hoi kha dik thei lo mo ani to ka dik chiam thei lo Man's failure and trouble demonstrate that he does not possess and hence cannot be guided by fear religion. Hoi jaka min in nature hi ma kha ema reason ema ngai to na la lam diga te pai thelo chi kha mi nga akilang ma mai abana Schopenhauer le Nietzsche the German philosopher ina bang again le glorify will amauten kha glorify will power will to power ki chi kha min kha ud na om na ko le Ming kapai dik nahi ud na tup na willing power am na le kamo the will to live om na le ming kapai dik nahi chi konga ka German philosopher kan ha gen loi chu ko Hitler le ke pe na na za lot ja ka le tu na gal pi anom kamo this is a philosophy of force will power ki chi ha koi sang na which has resulted in the heartless military machines of Central Europe military regime Hitler ina Hong pat tek zen na pen ka min te will power hong toy san got je ama bel adam it mai amire sa it mai hangena ama will power len na khovel bo he zolowina leitung pum bi boy sak ai chi kai ti ngai the philosophies of men have proved themselves futile and inadequate min te pu nai na khilbang malo khil hoi lam sang hoi lo lam tung zoi dam khat khovel khang thua timwa indeed someone has said philosophy is a blind man in a dark cellar trying to catch a black cat which is not there achia philosophy mean ke philosophy gel kha sa ta tinam nai to changa kha dark room mo in a dark room trying to catch a black cat in a dark room which is not there realizing no mial book ding khoi mial book la ka meng bom akimo thei dam timo thei lo de mo le a meng bom ta ta ti le chu ki man thei lai mo le a meng bom le nom lo lai la ne chu khoi kha ming te pil na le la Picking up some changa puchibang trying to catch a black cat in a dark room which is not there. Like mo puchibang le philosophy na ming kya dia at ton tung thelo. Hoi ja ka la rochi focal in again na kha philosopher ki kha mo philosophy is lungud bang nom diwa philosophy subject mai bang le nom diwa to sar hawl na bang le philosophy lungud ai so mo bang le pucha philosophy tak takin ha hiche bagina ki gen kha gin tan wai ka sakha ma philosopher can easily triumph over the evils that have already passed and the future evils. But present evils triumph over the philosopher. Philosophers then philosophy na hun paisa teng adik lo teng bol theu mo adik lo dan theu isu ai kele maban ding theu tele philosophies tung to na kha mo zil kha thei isu ai hanga tu hun tak pen khamaus control theu chi ai philosophers then ka hun paisa teng kha gen siang theu hun nung tung dit le gen siang theu khoi te khal wa zo ma wa ko man nyal zo lo ma philosophers te ai hanga tu a situation ma kha ama pan le thei lo impractical behavior mo tu hun taka ka oi da nei philosopher ka philosophy ka hichi khat ai le philosophy stone to begin ta a jana philosophy to be guided by self knowledge, by reason, by willpower chi te dik odan begin ta Christ gave his philosophy to the world ai hangina true religion is sending why true religion ka Christ gave his philosophy to the world. The philosophy of Christ calls for the love of God, which if practiced would banish worldliness, idolatry, blasphemy, profanity, covetousness, and such like. It calls for the love of one another, which if practiced would eradicate jealousy, division, factions, murder, fornication, adultery, theft, enmities, war, and such like. Okay, later on philosophy to ang laka Christ's philosophy, Jesus Christ's philosophy consists of only two words. Christ's philosophy calls for the love of God and the love of one another. Kaya kat yung ting cover mo ay philosophy ting tumay pen to be the love of one another. Christ's philosophy is based on only these two first, the love of God and the love of one another. Ito nga philosopher kampiyon talile, kaya Jesus Christ philosophy na pathiat iding abana imihin pi iding. Why na laitong pong pibol hit zoe sa male. Kaya pathiat id na ni cheleng ka pathian dan kinilaw ding pathian khatya biang naom le laitong pong pite ipum khat ding abana love of one another. Laitong ami khem pe khat le khat id to cheleng mo sa kwa dang le ngai no loi sa male. Pathiat id na imihin pi id leng kha khawela sa kwa ke che dang ngai lo di me. Why Jesus Christ philosophy ka hay pen ha tong elaborate pe ka Christianity Christianity based ka pe true religion based pen ha khawela sa kwa ting tel tu ka peace on this earth ai so leitung nga lem di nai so why sa ko dang ting na achieve thei lo pen ha only the philosophies of Christ. The true religion love of God, God ki chi ka monotheism pathian khat bek na why Abraham pathian sak pathian Jacob pathian pen nei na abana the love of one another nailing leitung tum pi bo ko thedi ka ale guno ching ta 5 minutes sungene ai pen kung gem chak lai ding monotheism to polytheism pen sakhadik tak age pa dina sakhadik lo tuam tom te hong pian ke dan kha ke pe approve na ka tam lo kong sin heading ho china pas so dinga. History teaches us that the earliest form of hidden religion were purer than the later forms. History if you have studied in a foreign university kong religion ki ka subject ka lak e chu ka master degree kong doctorate degree kong nga ki religion studies ki ha ai lo hai teng na religious studies te a study te ki pa na conclusion tamlo kilakya hiya amoten again dano ka the earliest form of hidden religion were purer than the later form khowela sa ko teng pen akipa tunga kasyang tho tu hun sang akipa tunga kana syang tho zobek adi ki che chu amoten religious studies a conclusion of kamo no nations or tribe has been found which did not believe in supreme being of some kind. Khowela mi nam khem pe supreme being ki chi mo pathian pathian khat hi chi jing ta lo anam lo pa bana sa khone lo ko om lo leitung mi khem pe ko ma sa khone lo lo communist country te pathian nei lo ding akelen North Korea ko male bắt hiện nắng này đầu đỉnh chỉ không ôm lại rồi à president Pao lim bị thâu thâu số mà lệ bây giờ này hình tiền việc này lo religion này lo có một ông thay lo anh chụp mấy religious being in every hidden system especially the oldest one may be found traces of one permanentism bây giờ cái này tung pumpia sa ko teng stadium ke bol na kha a primitive form pe nong ke study changa kha e Christian te mo e Christian te sa ko to kinai pen ve ke khowela sa ko teng kha abul yung su pat changa a biblical religion pen kha khoi lam kok kha ve ka hi kam kha to study na kha tin wa hiya Professor Fairbairn of Oxford ina hichin again the younger the polytheism the fewer its gods is a conclusion hit maka the younger the polytheism the younger the polytheism the fewer its gods tulaya pakyan tampi pinai te hong le akhang thu sul leng khani dana pakyan khat hong nei le an hi da no chu abana kha Dr. E. Hopkins ina ama kha Yale University a professor in again professor of Sanskrit and comparative philology again na kha hi chin again ana nai le history of religion again quotation hai that all religion may trace back to one primordial religion is not wholly a narrow orthodox view that all religion may trace back to one primordial religion sa kwa teng khan da primordial religion sa kwa khat pang ki pan the chi pen gin ta na pen ka hai wa hi lo hi chi chamang ha it is in this form however it is still held by both the Hindu and the Christian of every conservative type. For example, about 2000 years ago Manu the Hindu lawgiver declared what is still believed by Orthodox Brahmins that one true religion was revealed to men in the beginning and that all later type of religion have been vain diversions from this divine model. Hindu te kan pha mo India nei te ichidinga India gam lo tu tam zo Hindu sa pa zui ten tan phai na again ka bang yan che na Hindu te lawgiver Hindu te dan pe tu a Christian te ai ke biblical religion of Moses no dan angai to Manu the lawgiver in again dan ka declared that one true religion was revealed to men in the beginning. Atunga kami hinte kang sa kwa dik tak khatya anake pia hi chi pen ka a lawgiver le an again ba na hi se jo haja ka he proof ni digina India te Hindu te sa khalai bu Rig Veda ke chi na ti tha bu ta he Rig Veda ama ka verse achi wa hum 129 hum ala he number amo he sam lai bu da na ki hi ama supply bu ka Rig Veda 129 hum sa ka verse ha chi na ki na in the beginning there was neither now nor aught. Then there was neither atmosphere nor sky above. There was neither death nor immortality. There was neither day nor night, nor light nor darkness. Only the existent one breathed calmly self-contained. Not else but he was there. Not else above beyond. Kaya nakikil mo kayo Rig Veda 129 verse kaya kikil mo kayo Kaya Genesis bungkat sangkat kinay mo. Atungin na bang makil bang maom kaya, atmosphere, sky kichilem kaya, sina kichilem kaya, nile zang kichilem kaya, miyal levaklem kaya, only the existent one breath calmly self-contained. Achi, come on. Existent one achi pen ka, kipita ng dua ka patyan kat yaw hinchi. Tula Hindu tayo na patyan tampi simseng log niyo sa hangin na Rig Veda wa ka, nidang laki gil masayin ka. Atungin na patyan kat yaw hinchi ka. Only the existent one. Chile real chu. Hoy ka Hindu sa ko ke chi. Pagela sa ko ni. Teng la ka kachang kam pen ko lai chu. Tulay pagel tu jok pen ne. Hoy sa ko tan phai le ka e biblical religion pen adik na. Hong proof so mo kai. Aba na Babylonian te kanidang laya ana civilized na sama ma ko lahi normal. Babylonian te ka. Ama genda na ka Babylon te again ka. There are many nay numberless gods, but they are only revelation form of the one great divine might. Chile real to Babylonian religion le. Khovela patyan sim seng lo kichiom na dinga, but they are only revelation forms of the one great divine might. ปัจจัยขัดเกี่ยไปเป็นละด้านตรงตรงกีฬาหิจึงจะนับว่า Greece เต้นนะครับ Greek เต้นนะครับ Greece มีเต้นนะ The Orphic humor again long before the advent of popular divinities celebrated the Pantheos the universal God ที่เขาเอาละ Pantheos ก็คือ universal God ก็คือนั่นเองที่ว่าจะ Greek เต้นเลยอาบ้าน China เต้นละปัจจัยตั้งเปลี่ยนเลยว่า Chinese religion นะ Professor Let's Oxford นะ Chinese religion again นะครับ 5,000 years ago the Chinese were monotheists ถึงบอกไงชุดกลุ่มสังนามาครับ China เตเลยปัจจัยขัดกันเนี่ยหิวถึงบอกไงชุด not henotheist but monotheist จิตอะไรจะฉะนั้นครับปัจจัยตั้งเป็นดีวะเนี่ยฮานี่นะ 5,000 years ago China เต้นปัจจัยขัดกันเนี่ยหิวจริงไหมชุดออสเตรเลียเต้นขาเฮแอนดรูว์ลิสนะ religious studies again นะครับออสเตรเลียเต้น they believe in supreme being Aboriginals te kong hindi sumahilig again ka. They believe in a supreme being whose abode is in the heavens and who observe and rewards conduct. Pathian ka kami na buhay na rewards ming te buwalzol. Hitsi ka Australia Aboriginals te na agintat, Aborigines te na agintat. So, aban North America kigyan ka kung simlay din nga. The oldest tribes of North America, North Central Californians, no? Arnold Governor ni namun mo. Amaw te na apilipute kang kun again ha. Now it is precisely among these three oldest primitive people of North America that we find a clear and firmly established belief in a high God. Pa Americans tamzo te ka European na Japan na migrate te uso. Ay hanga why America anong sa tak te hong le ha. Again ka bang yang ka high God patyan kap mana biao hi chika. From this fact, we must conclude that the Supreme Being, God, revealed His will to man when man was first created, and the religion of art are but corruption of this original revelation. Conclusion na hiya. May suma pa na conclusion to akasimpen ha katwit. Kung sinthab di nga. From all these facts, we must conclude that the Supreme Being, God, revealed His will to man when man was first created. Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3 nasim sa tiyo mo. Huwag daan na patay na ming te bol lai na ming te lung tanga ming te ngay ko na sa ko diktat ana reveal to le to nga sa ko dang teng penbel. Huwag sa ko ki pa na hong pial mang de kahin sika. E pen ka next class on WhatsApp kung profit mo. E ka biblical religion pen kaya hiya. Kalain dikta kay cha pa iswak atung na Judaism mo tukun lui sa ko abara Christian sa ko ang pai alain kami chen for example Hindu tera atung na patyan kat nei aban ma le trimurti nei mo patyan at thum nei pa pan ka am bihung tam ka kya pa Hinduism sa ko ke pa na ko vela sa ko dam Jainism Sikhism tituam tom te no tam bihung pian kya sa ko dik ta ka ke pa na sa ko dik lo tam bihung pian kya isoi Wajah sa ko diktat trace ka dia sige tengah pan le ka primitive form sa ko ang ban pe nung sud jang ka kaya Christianity siya kaya biblical religion pe ha sa ko diktat ka hitan ha hong ki mo ke dinga he sa conclusion na dinga since we don't yet have we don't install a printer here I could not provide you the hard copy of this lessons. But I'll give you those notes in your WhatsApp, okay? Let us close with a prayer. Baca itu leh. Tapi aku papa kian, tu singkal na kelas de zau te kom kita zau kita papa he. Je kelas ka hong zelo sa ko diktak. Bang bolong ke panhem ti te he. Pagel mi te sudan le. La Bible lapat. Kamudan te ka hong compare wo je ta kapat hen nang ma het chen nang pian la. Sa ko diktak kiti nang ma Bible sin sap na ke pat mi ke panai dan te ho he. Kong het chen no ti chun sa ko dang zau se he. Je sa ko diktak ke pat pet mang ve he dan te ho he. Midang te ka hil son ini du kapun. Je Bible student te ho zau se nang ma kalung kim kot te hon pia ka. La thu tak te la sa ko diktak te adik dan te sui ke zo dingin kun pha ten pe dingin le ma ba no na class sun zom zel the dingin. Kama te hong pui chet ding ki doin. Kalal pau Jesus ni tong do he. Amen.